Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive curated just for you.
I love a good deep dive.
Me too. Today we're going to be focusing on market research for hotels. We're
Ooh.
going to be looking at a blog post called Mistake Number 2, How Ignoring Market Research Can Cost You Guests.
Sounds juicy.
It is from the Hotel Growth Hub.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's a great resource for anything related to growing your hotel business.
Makes sense.
So in this blog post, we are going to be looking at some of the ways that if you skip over market research, you can actually be costing yourself money and guests.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Totally. So let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So, the blog post talks about this idea of market mismatch.
Oh, yeah, market mismatch. Tell me more about that.
Can you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, so, market mismatch is essentially when a hotel ends up attracting the wrong guests for their property. Like maybe their property is really designed for, the business traveler. They have, strong wifey meeting rooms, a grab-and-go breakfast bar, but they end up attracting, vacationing families who are looking for more kid-friendly amenities.
Oh, so it's like a disconnect between what the hotel is offering
Exactly.
and who they're actually trying to attract.
Yeah, and that leads to frustration on both sides.
Yeah, I can see that how the families aren't happy. And then, of course, the hotel's not happy because they're not getting the guests that they want.
Absolutely.
And this can actually have a real impact on their bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just think about it. You've got frustrated guests. They're probably not going to leave good reviews.
Right.
Word of mouth spreads, and that can really hurt a hotel's reputation and ultimately their revenue.
Yeah, it can make it harder to attract the right guests in the future, too.
Definitely. It's a vicious cycle.
So the blog post uses a real-world example to illustrate this concept of market mismatch.
Oh, I love a good example. Lay it on me.
So they talk about a hotel in Coorg that was having some trouble filling its rooms.
Okay, so what was going wrong?
Well, they were under the impression that their ideal guest was like a honeymooning couple.
Ah, romantic getaway.
Exactly. And so they really poured all their resources into, marketing that kind of experience, romantic packages, candlelit dinners, all that jazz.
That's lovely, but
But it turns out that their location was actually way more popular with families.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, and, nature enthusiasts who are looking for adventure and outdoor activities.
So totally different vibe.
Completely. So you can imagine those couples weren't too thrilled with, the kids running around.
Right. Not exactly the peaceful retreat they were hoping for.
Not at all. So it wasn't until this hotel started doing some, very basic market research.
Like what kind of research are we talking?
Just, simple things like surveying their existing guests and taking a look at their competitors.
Okay, makes sense.
It wasn't until they did that they discovered this crucial information about who was actually visiting their area.
So they were making assumptions instead of looking at the data,
Exactly.
and it was costing them.
Yeah, but the good news is that once they shifted their understanding of their target market, they actually saw a pretty dramatic increase in occupancy.
Wow, how much are we talking?
They saw a 50% increase within just 6 months.
That's incredible.
I know, just from making those changes based on their research findings.
So simple, but so effective.
Right. It really goes to show that market research doesn't have to be, this big, complicated, expensive thing.
Yeah, it can be as straightforward as asking your guests what they want.
Exactly. And, the blog post actually outlines a really simple 4-step process for getting started with market research.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
All right. So step 1 is all about understanding your ideal guest.
Okay, so who are these people? What makes them tick?
Right. And it's not just about demographics, like their age or their income.
It's about digging deeper.
Exactly. You want to understand their motivations, their needs, their desires, all those things that actually drive their travel choices.
So why are they choosing to travel? What are they hoping to get out of it?
Yeah. And, you can start to uncover these insights by asking yourself some questions.
Okay, what?
Well, who are the people currently staying at your hotel?
Okay.
What do they seem to value most? Why did they choose your hotel over other options?
So it's about really getting to know your current guests and understanding what makes them happy?
Exactly, because they can give you really valuable clues about who your ideal guest is.
Makes sense. And once you have a good grasp on that, what's next?
Well, step 2 in the process is all about taking a closer look at your competitors.
Ooh, the competition.
And this doesn't mean copying them or anything like that.
Right, more like gathering intel.
Yeah, it's about understanding their strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so figuring out what they're doing well and where they might be falling short.
Exactly. And then the most important question is, how can you differentiate yourself?
Okay, so finding your unique selling proposition.
Yes, exactly. How can you offer something unique and valuable that will attract your ideal guest and, set you apart from the competition?
Sounds like a good strategy.
It is. And there are a lot of different ways to gather information about your competitors.
Like what?
Well, you can visit their websites, check out their social media presence, even try to swing by their properties for a first-hand look.
So it's like being a detective.
Exactly. You're gathering clues about the competitive landscape and then using that information to your advantage.
I like it.
Me too. All right, so step 3 in the process is all about bringing in some tools to help you dig a little deeper.
Ooh, tools. Tell me more. I love a good tool.
Okay, so the blog post specifically mentions using Google Trends.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Have you used it before?
I've dabbled.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's basically a free tool that shows you what people are searching for online.
Interesting. So you can see what potential guests are actually looking for when they're planning their trips.
Exactly. And this can give you really valuable insights into their preferences and priorities.
Okay, so how could a hotel use Google Trends specifically?
Well, let's say you're a hotel in a popular tourist destination.
Okay.
You could use Google Trends to see what potential guests are searching for in that area.
Like what kind of things?
Well, maybe they're looking for pet-friendly hotels, rooftop bars, or specific types of amenities.
Ooh, that's helpful.
It is, and it's not just about what people are searching for right now.
It can also show you trends over time, right?
Yes, exactly. So you can see if certain searches are increasing or decreasing in popularity.
So you can stay ahead of the curve and adapt to those changes.
Exactly. And that brings us to step 4 in the blog post's market research process.
Okay, hit me with it.
So this step is all about using all of the research you've gathered to actually tailor your offerings.
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road.
Right. This is where you take those insights and translate them into tangible actions.
Okay, so give me an example.
All right. So let's say your research revealed that families are craving more interactive experiences at hotels.
Okay.
What are some things you could do?
Well, you could add a game room, organize family-friendly activities, or maybe partner with local businesses to offer discounts on attractions.
Those are all great ideas.
Thanks.
It's really about being creative and thinking outside the box to create experiences that truly align with what your target market wants.
So it's not just about having a nice hotel, it's about having a nice hotel that caters to the specific needs and desires of your ideal guests.
Exactly. And that's the power of market research.
It helps you create an experience that not only attracts the right guests, but also delights them.
Right. And that can lead to, positive reviews, repeat bookings, and ultimately a thriving business.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of ground already, but I want to leave you with a question to ponder.
Okay, I'm ready.
We talked about that hotel in Coorg and how they managed to turn things around by understanding their target market. So thinking about your own hotel, what's one simple step you could take today to better understand your ideal guest?
Ooh, that's a good one.
We'll be back in a moment to delve deeper into this fascinating topic, so don't go anywhere.
I'm hooked. I'm not going anywhere. Welcome back. It's amazing to see how these small changes in market research can lead to such big wins for hotels.
I know, it's like they were missing a puzzle piece and then they found it.
Exactly. It all just clicks into place.
Yeah, so we talked about, the benefits of market research, but I'm curious about the other side of the coin.
Yeah, what about the costs of not doing market research?
Right. Like, what are some of the hidden costs that hotel owners might not even realize they're incurring?
That's a good question. I think one of the biggest hidden costs is damage to your brand reputation,
Yeah,
Because you're consistently attracting the wrong guests, you're more likely to get negative reviews.
right. And online reviews are everything these days.
They really are. People rely so heavily on them when they're making travel decisions.
Totally. So a few bad reviews can really scare potential guests away.
Exactly. And it's not just about the immediate loss of business either. It can have a long-term impact on your hotel's image.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a ripple effect.
It is, and it can be really hard to recover from.
So market research is not just about attracting more guests. It's about protecting your reputation.
Absolutely.
The blog post also talks about how market research can help hotels stay ahead of the competition.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
So how does that work?
Well, by understanding your competitors, their strengths, weaknesses, what they're offering, you can identify opportunities to differentiate yourself.
Okay, so it's like finding your niche.
Exactly. Maybe you discover that all the other hotels in your area are focusing on luxury amenities, but there's a gap in the market for budget-friendly options that offer more local experiences.
So you're finding those unique selling points that make your hotel stand out.
Precisely, and market research gives you the data to back up those decisions. You're not just guessing what might work.
Right. It's about using insights to create targeted offerings that really appeal to a specific group of guests.
Exactly.
Now, earlier you mentioned Google Trends as a tool for hotels.
Oh yeah, Google Trends is like a gold mine of information.
Can you give us some more specific examples of how hotels can use it effectively?
Sure. So let's say you're a hotel in a popular tourist destination.
Okay.
You could use Google Trends to see what potential guests are searching for when they're planning their trips to that area.
So, like, what kind of things might they be searching for?
Well, maybe they're looking for hotels with pet-friendly policies or rooftop bars or specific types of amenities like a spa or a fitness center.
Okay, so you can use Google Trends to see what's trending and then tailor your offerings accordingly.
Exactly. You can stay informed and be adaptable to those changes in traveler preferences.
So you're constantly evolving to meet the needs of your target market.
Precisely.
The blog post also emphasizes the importance of gathering feedback from your current guests.
Oh, yeah. Your existing guests are a goldmine of information.
And it doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Not at all. You can have a simple feedback form at checkout or send a follow-up email after their stay.
Right, or even just encourage them to leave reviews online.
It's all about showing your guests that you value their opinions and you're committed to continuously improving their experience.
So you're basically turning your guests into collaborators.
Exactly. They can help you shape the future of your hotel.
That's a great way to look at it.
Mm.
Now let's talk about some of the obstacles that hotel owners might face when it comes to market research.
Okay, what are some of the hurdles?
Well, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that market research is too time-consuming or expensive.
Yeah, especially for smaller, independent hotels that might not have the resources of a big chain.
Exactly. But the truth is, market research doesn't have to be this massive undertaking.
Right, you can start small, focus on a few key areas.
Exactly. And like we said, even something as simple as surveying your guests or analyzing Google Trends data can yield really valuable insights.
It's about taking those first steps and then building from there.
Another obstacle, I think, is just feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's so much information out there.
It's like drinking from a fire hose.
It can be hard to know where to start or what to focus on.
That's where resources like the Hotel Growth Hub can be really helpful.
Definitely. They provide guidance and tools to help hotel owners navigate the world of market research.
Their mastermind program and webinar sound really great.
They break down those complex concepts into manageable steps.
So it feels less daunting.
Exactly.
It's about finding that support system and realizing that you don't have to do it all alone.
Right. There are people and resources out there to help you.
Now let's go back to that story of the Coorg Hotel for a moment.
Okay, that was a good one.
I think their success really highlights some key lessons for other hotel owners.
Like what?
Well, for one, they were willing to challenge their assumptions about their ideal guest.
Right, they thought it was honeymooners, but it turned out to be families.
Exactly, and they were open to new perspectives.
Which is so important.
They were also willing to adapt and make changes based on what their research revealed.
And that's how they saw that incredible increase in occupancy.
Right, so it's about being flexible, embracing new information, and then playing to your strengths.
Okay, so being flexible is key.
It is. But how can hotels actually tailor their offerings based on market research?
Well, let's say your research shows that there's a growing demand for wellness travel among your target audience.
Okay, so what could you do?
You could create a dedicated wellness wing, offer yoga classes, partner with a local spa, or even just create healthy menu options at your restaurant.
Those are all great ideas, and I bet guests would love them.
Yeah, it's about getting creative and thinking outside the box to create experiences that truly align with what your target market wants.
And that's where the real magic happens.
It does. You're not just providing a place to sleep, you're creating an experience.
Exactly, and that's what sets you apart from the competition.
Speaking of thinking outside the box, let's talk about another tool that's becoming increasingly valuable for hotel social media.
Oh yeah, social media is a goldmine.
It is. It's a place where you can listen to what people are saying about your hotel, your competitors, the travel industry as a whole.
So you're keeping your finger on the pulse of what's happening.
Exactly. You can monitor hashtags, join relevant groups, engage in conversations, and get a sense of what people are talking about, what's trending, and what they're looking for.
And it's not just about listening. You can also use social media to track your own brand mentions and see what people are saying about your hotel specifically.
That's right. It's like having real-time feedback from your target audience.
And you can use that feedback to make improvements, address concerns, and even develop new offerings.
Exactly. You're constantly learning and evolving based on what you're hearing.
And you can also use social media to connect with potential guests, directly build relationships, and showcase your hotel's personality.
Yeah, it's a powerful platform for building brand awareness, driving bookings, and creating a loyal following.
So it's not just about marketing, it's about building community.
Exactly, and it's a constantly evolving landscape, so it's important to stay up to date on the latest trends and best practices.
Now let's talk about another valuable resource for market research online review platform.
Oh yeah, websites like tripadvisorbooking.com for Expedia, they're full of insights.
So how can hotels use those platforms effectively?
Well, by analyzing reviews of your hotel and your competitors, you can gain valuable insights into what guests like and dislike, what they expect, and what they value.
So you can identify areas for improvement.
Exactly. Or you might find opportunities to differentiate yourself.
And you can even get ideas for new offerings or amenities based on what people are saying.
That's right. It's like a free focus group.
And it's not just about reading the reviews, it's also about responding to them.
Absolutely. Engaging with reviewers, addressing concerns, and thanking guests for their positive feedback shows that you care about their experience.
Right. You're showing them that you're listening.
Exactly. And that can go a long way in building trust and credibility with potential guests who are reading those reviews.
So online review platforms are a great way to get feedback and build relationships with your guests.
They are.
Now let's talk about another method for gathering more in-depth insights: surveys and focus groups.
Oh, yeah, those can be really helpful.
So how do they work?
Well, with surveys and focus groups, you can ask specific questions and get detailed feedback from your target audience.
So you're getting more qualitative data.
Exactly. It's not just about the numbers, it's about understanding the why behind the numbers.
And you can use a variety of methods to conduct surveys and focus groups, right?
You can use online survey tools, or you can hire a market research firm to conduct in-person focus groups.
It's about finding the approach that works best for you and your budget.
And remember, market research is an ongoing process.
It's not a one-time thing.
Not at all. The travel landscape is constantly evolving, so you need to be continually gathering information and adapting your strategies.
So it's about staying curious,
And being flexible.
always seeking ways to improve the guest experience.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination.
Now let's zoom out a bit and consider why market research is so vital for the hotel industry as a whole.
Okay, big picture thinking.
Right. So why is market research so important?
Well, it helps hotels understand the needs and preferences of travelers, which are constantly changing.
Yeah, the travel industry is always evolving.
It is, and in today's competitive landscape, hotels need to differentiate themselves and offer unique experiences that resonate with their target audience.
And market research helps them do that.
It does.
It's about staying relevant, competitive, and responsive to the evolving demands of the market.
Exactly.
So market research empowers hotels to make data-driven decisions that can lead to increased occupancy rates, higher revenue, and improved guest satisfaction.
It's a vital tool for success in this dynamic industry.
Now, I know some hotel owners might say, I already know my target market. I don't need to do formal research.
I hear that a lot.
So how would you respond to that?
Well, I would say that while experience is invaluable, market research goes beyond just knowing who your guests are.
So it's more than just a gut feeling.
It is. It's about understanding their motivations, their desires, their pain points, and their evolving preferences.
Yeah, and those things can change over time.
They absolutely can. What worked 5 years ago might not work today.
So it's about challenging your assumptions and gaining a fresh perspective.
Exactly.
And even if you think you know your market well, there's always more to learn.
Always.
Market research can uncover hidden opportunities, untapped markets, and new ways to connect with your audience.
You never know what you might find.
So it's about staying curious, open-minded, and committed to continuous learning.
I love that.
Speaking of learning, technology has revolutionized the way hotels conduct market research.
Oh yeah, technology has been a game changer.
So how is technology being used to gather insights and make data-driven decisions?
Well, we have social media analytics tools, online review platforms, guest feedback surveys, website analytics, all providing a wealth of data that can be used to understand your target market.
It's incredible how much data is available now.
It is, and with advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning, hotels can now automate many aspects of market research.
So you're freeing up time and resources to focus on strategy and implementation.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Now, it's important to be aware of potential pitfalls when conducting market research.
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some traps to avoid.
So what are some common mistakes that hotels should watch out for?
Well, one mistake is relying solely on quantitative data and neglecting the qualitative side.
So you're saying numbers aren't everything,
They're not, numbers are important, but they don't tell the whole story.
right? You need to gather feedback through surveys, focus groups, social media listening to really understand the why behind the numbers.
Exactly, you need both the what and the why.
Another mistake is focusing too narrowly on your existing guests and neglecting potential new markets.
Yeah, it's important to cast a wide net and explore new demographics, travel trends, emerging markets.
You don't want to limit yourself.
And you might be surprised at what you find.
Failing to act on the insights from market research is another big pitfall.
Oh yeah, data is only valuable if you use it.
Right. It's about developing a plan to implement those insights and track the results.
So you can see what's working and what's not.
Now, speaking of future trends, what are some innovations in the world of market research that hotels should be aware of?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think personalization is a big one.
Okay, so what does that look like in the hotel industry?
Well, hotels are using data to tailor their offerings to the individual preferences of their guests.
So creating more personalized and memorable experiences?
Exactly, and this trend is being driven by advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning.
So technology is really changing the game.
It is. Another trend is the growing importance of sustainability and social responsibility in travel decisions.
Oh yeah, people are becoming more conscious of their impact.
They are, and hotels are responding by incorporating sustainable practices and marketing their commitment to these causes.
And I think that's really resonating with travelers. Then there's the use of virtual reality and augmented reality to enhance the travel experience.
Ooh, that's cool.
I know hotels are creating virtual tours, showcasing attractions, and providing interactive experiences for guests.
It's like a whole new way to engage with potential guests.
And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with these technologies.
Definitely, it's an exciting time to be in the travel industry.
Now let's shift our focus to the specific challenges and opportunities that hotel owners in India face when it comes to market research.
Okay, let's talk about India.
What unique considerations should they keep in mind?
Well, the Indian hotel industry is incredibly diverse, catering to a wide range of budgets and travel styles.
So that presents both challenges and opportunities.
It does.
Yeah.
One challenge is the sheer size and complexity of the Indian market, with its vast population and diverse cultural and linguistic differences.
So conducting comprehensive research can be a daunting task.
It can be, but this diversity also offers the opportunity for hotels to niche down and target specific segments of the market.
So you can really find your niche.
Exactly. Another challenge is the rapid pace of change in the Indian travel industry.
Right, things are moving quickly.
They are the rise of online travel agencies, the growing middle class, the increasing popularity of experiential travel, or just a few of the trends shaping the industry.
So hotels need to be adaptable.
They do. They need to stay agile and respond to these changes to remain competitive.
And what about the role of technology in India?
Well, technology is huge in India. Especially mobile technology with high smartphone penetration. Hotels need to make sure their websites are mobile friendly, optimized for mobile search, and leverage mobile marketing channels.
So it's about meeting your guests where they are.
Exactly, and that's increasingly on their smartphones.
So what are some specific strategies that hotel owners in India can use to conduct effective market research?
Well, partnering with local travel agencies and tour operators can be really beneficial.
Yeah, they have a lot of local knowledge.
They do. They have in-depth knowledge of the market and can provide valuable insights.
Leveraging online resources and data analytics tools is another great strategy.
Definitely websites like Google Trends, social media analytics platforms, online review sites provide a wealth of data.
It's all about using the tools that are available to you.
And don't forget about industry associations and publications.
Right, like the Hotel Association of India and Hotelier India.
They offer insights into industry trends, best practices, market research data.
So it's about tapping into those existing resources.
Exactly.
Now, it's crucial to address the role of culture and language in market research in India.
Yeah, that's an important consideration.
When you're designing surveys or conducting focus groups, you need to use language that's appropriate for your target audience. And you need to be mindful of cultural sensitivities.
It's all about being respectful and understanding the nuances of the market.
Working with local market research firms or consultants can also be incredibly beneficial.
Absolutely. They have a deep understanding of the Indian market and can provide culturally relevant insights.
So they can help you navigate the complexities of the market. Now let's talk about some specific challenges that Indian hotel owners might face when it comes to implementing market research findings.
Okay, implementation can be tricky.
It can be. One challenge is resistance to change within organizations.
Yeah, you might find that people are hesitant to try new things.
And market research might highlight areas for improvement, but actually implementing those changes can be met with pushback.
So what's the key to overcoming that resistance?
I think communication is key.
Right. You need to explain the benefits of market research and involve your staff in the process.
Another challenge is a lack of resources or expertise.
Yeah, small hotels might struggle to afford to hire a market research firm, or they might lack the in-house expertise to analyze data effectively.
So what can they do?
While there are a lot of affordable resources available,
Like what?
online tools, industry associations, government agencies, partnerships with universities, or business schools that offer market research services,
So there are options out there.
there are.
And the potential benefits of market research for hotels in India are significant.
Oh, absolutely.
It can help them identify and target niche markets, differentiate their offerings, enhance guest satisfaction, and ultimately boost revenue.
Right. And by understanding the unique needs and preferences of travelers, hotels can create those personalized experiences that lead to guest loyalty.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
It is.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's distill some key takeaways for hotel owners in India.
Okay, let's summarize.
Market research is not just a nice-to-have. It's a must-do in the competitive Indian hospitality market.
It's about understanding your target audience, leveraging the right resources and tools, and being mindful of the cultural nuances.
And most importantly, it's about taking action based on the insights you gather.
So stay curious, be adaptable, and embrace innovation to stay ahead in the ever-changing world of hospitality.
We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into the world of market research. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into hotel market research.
I'm ready to wrap it up.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, thinking back on everything we've talked about today,
Yeah.
what really stands out to you?
I think what really strikes me is just how dynamic this whole thing is. Market research isn't just like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's this ongoing process of learning and adapting as the travel landscape changes, as guest preferences evolve,
Yeah, it's like we've been given all these amazing tools, and now we get to go out there and explore and experiment and learn.
Exactly. And speaking of tools, we've been talking about this Hotel Growth Hub blog post.
Uh-huh.
What were some of your key takeaways from that?
One thing that really stuck with me was the emphasis on the cost of ignoring market research.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about, missing out on potential opportunities. It's about the real tangible consequences like lost revenue, bad guest experiences, and, even damage to your hotel's reputation.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. And, thankfully, the blog post doesn't just present the problem. It offers those practical solutions.
Right.
Those 4 steps, they outline understanding your ideal guest, studying your competitors, using those tools like Google Trends and surveys, and then, actually tailoring your offerings based on what you find. It's like a roadmap.
I like that analogy.
Me too. And I love how they really emphasize that you can start small. You don't need a huge budget or a team of researchers to get started. It's just about taking those first steps, asking those questions, and, being open to what you discover.
Curiosity is key.
It is, but, all those insights you gather are only valuable if you actually use them.
Totally. It's about taking action, making changes, continuously refining your approach based on what you're learning.
Yeah, the blog post also encourages listeners to explore some of the other resources offered by the Hotel Growth Hub.
Yeah, like what?
They have their Hotel Growth Mastermind program, and they have a free webinar as well.
Those sound great.
They are. And, for those who want to really dive deep into market research and get that hands-on guidance.
I think a lot of people would benefit from that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's our final thought for the listeners today?
Well, we've talked a lot about, understanding your ideal guest.
Right?
But what about, understanding yourself as a hotel owner?
Ooh, that's deep.
It is. It's about knowing your strengths, what makes your hotel unique, and, what are you truly passionate about?
So aligning your vision and values with the desires of your target market.
Exactly. And market research is a super powerful tool.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the numbers and the data.
Mhm.
It's about understanding
Good
people.
guests. Your team, yourself.
Yeah, and creating an experience that really connects on a human level.
And that's what it's all about.
So as you continue on your journey in this crazy world of hospitality, remember to stay curious,
Mhm.
embrace learning, and, don't be afraid to try new things.
And have fun along the way.
Yes, exactly. So that is it for this deep dive on hotel market research. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even inspiring, and that you're walking away with some, tangible takeaways that you can implement in your own business.
I think they are.
Be sure to subscribe to the deep dive for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics. And thank you for joining us.
Until next time.